How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship.
Yeah.
Drake is once again trolling Lucien Grange, the CEO of UMG, by posting his daughter-in-law. He also unfollowed everybody on his burner and now only follows her. Messing with the labels like this is a very risky move.
It has a rich baby daddy named Lucien and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
I talked to a UMG executive earlier today, and he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know this to be the case, but it seemed like he trying to get out his deal. This is like a...
As a result, Pusha T has joined the discussion room to discuss Kendrick's anti-Drake Super Bowl presentation. It appears that Pusha is hinting that this removal of Drake was planned for some time in the background. Kendrick recently surpassed the record for the most views of any singer in history during the Super Bowl halftime show, with over 130 million. As everyone was celebrating Kendrick's moment, Pusha T appeared with a mysterious message that led listeners to believe he was really disparaging Drake. Meanwhile, it appears that Drake is becoming worse every day, and he just intensified his feud by focusing on Lucien's daughter-in-law, the CEO Richie Sophia. It's insane that Drake boasted about his exclusivity for years. Fans are accusing Drake of playing himself because he signed a deal with the devil believing he was unique and is now paying the price. However, rather than acting wisely, Drake is suing the label that gave him $400 and then blaming his relationship with Lucien and acting as though he was untouchable. Million is unquestionably a decision, and he is now targeting Lucien's family. Given that none of Drake's recent actions have made sense, and now that Pusha T has hinted that Drake was always going to lose it, it begs the question: was this Drake's fate all along? Why is he acting as though he's attempting to permanently destroy what's left of his reputation? Let's get started. Drake must have a career death wish.
Stand for nothing, you don't say nothing about nothing. You don't. You run to the Memphis. Oh, I'm Memphis, Houston. That's my black side. You never relate.
Pusha T finally spoke up during Kendrick Lamar's historic Super Bowl halftime performance, and fans believe he was hinting at Drake's demise. He acknowledged Kendrick's historic victory on his Instagram stories, but his remarks were more than just a shout-out. They had people interpreting them. Pusha wrote, "Congratulations on your mission." Additionally, Pusha recently spoke to some paparazzi and applauded Kendrick's performance at the Super Bowl, demonstrating his pride in Kendrick's achievement.
How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship,
Yeah.
the creativity. You know, a real artist, for real.
Yes, sir.
And he did it his way.
Nevertheless, returning to Pusha's mission accomplished comment, some fans are focusing on that particular part and claiming that he knew exactly what he was doing. They claim that Pusha was implying that Kendrick had successfully sealed Drake's fate, something in which he was heavily involved. Additionally, it should be noted that Pusha had already damaged Drake's reputation in 2018 when he revealed the truth about Adidon and revealed Drake's secret son and baby mother. That single incident changed everyone's opinion of Drake, and now that Kendrick has taken him down back-to-back and Drake has started to undermine himself, it appears that this was all part of a larger scheme to permanently deprive Drake of his golden boy status. Now let's discuss Drake's recent movements. He's been careless lately, and after breaking records with his performance in the Super Bowl, it seems like he's sliding out of control. He's posting constantly on his Finna again, and some of this is undoubtedly promotional. As you are already aware, Drake filed a federal defamation lawsuit against his own label, UMG, last month, alleging that they intentionally boosted the success of Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us, by conspiring with streaming services. This isn't just about Drake trying to make a musical comeback with his new collaborative album, Party Next Door. Drake is now intensifying his battle with Young and taking actions that could land him in even more trouble than he is already in. Inflating the numbers and purposefully allowing a song that falsely accuses him of being a PDF file to go viral was bad enough. But now Drake is taking things to the next level and making it personal. As he always does when he has a problem with a man, Drake is targeting the women in their lives, this time Sophia Richie Gra, who is married to Lucian Gur's son Elliot. She is suing the label instead of directly responding to Kendrick. On his other Instagram page, Drake posted a photo of Sophia wearing an OVO shirt on Tuesday, February 11. Sophia is now the only person Drake follows from his Fina account, but Drake's post is already backfiring badly, with fans claiming that it only serves to further demonstrate his lack of self-awareness and the fact that he has learned nothing from this feud. Furthermore, Drake is aiming for a woman who is unrelated to this rather than actively pursuing Kendrick or Lucian Grange. This is made worse by the fact that Drake has previously made crude jabs at women rather than confronting the males he is at odds with, such as Meek Mill. When Enty claimed that Drake makes pop music, Drake followed his daughter, who had just turned 18, and now that he's engaged in a full-fledged feud with Lucian Grange, Drake is coming after Nicki with Pusha T. He brought up Pusha's fiancée, Virginia, against Kendrick and continued to make fun of Whitney with DJ Mustard, his ex-wife. Given all the accusations circulating about Drake and young women, you would think that he would be extra cautious and avoid involving any women or children in his beef with his daughter-in-law, who is, incidentally, 12 years younger than Drake and has an 8-month-old child. However, it seems as though he simply cannot help himself, and fans are now claiming that despite all of the talk from Drizzy's fans about Drake allegedly being unbothered, it's crystal clear that he's spiraling in real time. And it's just going to get worse the way things are going. According to one fan, Drake should be aware of how destructive his fans have been lately. Therefore, posting Sophia Richie, who is not only married to Lucian's grandson, but also the daughter of Lionel Richie, knowing that your insane fans will bombard her with comments and social media on your behalf, is really nasty AF. Who he is. Don't cry when you mess with powerful men's families, lol. Now let's talk about Lucian and his fallout with Drake, as that seems to be the true cause of Drake's breakdown. It seems that Drake believes Lucian plotted against him, which is completely illogical given that Drake was the biggest cash cow for years. Drake's supporters are now making a lot of effort to portray this lawsuit as a revolutionary move, saying that Drake is suing him as a. However, let's face it, Drake had no difficulty being Lucian's golden child when it benefited him. In fact, he was more than delighted to flaunt his special privileges. Nice job fighting the entire industry and supporting little independent artists in their struggle against these terrible labels. Persistently boasting about how his agreement was different from other artists, even mentioning Lucian in several songs, while acting as if he was untouchable due to their
talk to me different when they see my pay stuff from Lucian Grange. Who the CEO of Universal, they're mistaken, cause Google's saying Lucian, but that just doesn't make sense. Who got Lucian? I said, f it, I'm tearing holes in my budget. All I know is that God got me, I'm sitting on large properties. Treat me like a new...
What's crazy is that, prior to this whole situation with Kendrick, Drake wasn't just any musician. He was Lucian's golden boy. In 2021, Drake signed one of the largest contracts in music history, reportedly worth $450 million. And Lucian explicitly stated that Drake could have anything he desired.
Demon, Drake says, tell Lucian I said, I'm tearing holes in my budget.
Tell Lucian I said, I'm tearing holes in my budget.
Did Drake call you up after that and say, hey, I need more money for my project?
If ever Drake or whenever Drake calls up and says he needs more money for his project.
The reason behind the significant fallout between Drake and Lucian is the subject of several speculations. Some speculate that Drake may have become overconfident in his role as UNG's cash cow and attempted to push his luck. According to some sources, Drake attempted to renegotiate his contract and wanted a staggering $600 million from Lucian. However, Drake failed to remember who is actually in charge. Despite all of his success, Lucian is the boss, and Drake is still only an employee, regardless of how big his position is.
This is what I'm hearing. So Drake, supposedly in this $400 million deal, he had one more deliverable, which is the Party Next Door album. Now, prior to the beef in May, there was going to be a last project that would then catapult Drake into his next deal. It's like basketball. These guys are like restricted free agents, right? You don't let them become a free agent before you negotiate and lock them into another deal. What happens is when you're at your last project, y'all start talking. It's like contract year. Think about NBA. All right, you playing basketball. Sometimes they be like, yo, I'm too injured to play. When it's contract year, you suck up that injury, you got to play because you want that bigger contract next. Here's the interesting thing. Before Drake could drop that and then potentially be a free agent, he's been negotiating. He's been thinking, I'm going to go get a bigger payday, maybe $600 million. The beef happens, and from what I've been, told, the conversations have severely not gone in Drake's favor. The re-upping or whatever, it's just not.
However, there is another theory circulating, and some fans are speculating that this has something to do with Diddy's case, because Lucian was mentioned in one of the lawsuits that Diddy was the target of last year. You may recall that lawsuit that producer Lil Rod filed against Diddy, but it wasn't just about Diddy. It also contained some grave accusations against Lucian and, oh my, Lil Rod implied that Lucian and Diddy's relationship might be more than just a business arrangement, stating that Mr. Jones remembers seeing defendant Grange at Mr. Combs' homes in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant Grange visited Mr. Combs, it was always in the evening, and he and Mr. Combs would spend hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom before. Lucian was one of Diddy's co-conspirators who knowingly profited from Diddy's alleged crimes, according to Lil Rod, who accused Lucian of aiding, abetting, and inducing Diddy's criminal venture. On top of that, Lil Rod claimed that Diddy may have Lucian on tape doing dubious activities at these bizarre gatherings, but this is where things become only a few months after Lil Rod filed his case. Shavy announced in May 2024 that Lucian and Young had been removed from the list of defendants.
Universal Music Group are now dropped from the Diddy lawsuit. Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from the lawsuit with prejudice after the attorneys for Universal Music Group and Lucian Grange said that the accusations were so offensively false that they plan to seek legal penalties directly against the lawyer Tyrone Blackburn and not even the accuser. And I feel like the only reason that Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from this lawsuit is because he knows how good of attorneys these actually are, and they're backed by Universal Music Group and Lucian Grange.
And guess what else happened in May 2024? Kendrick released 3 diss tracks that were directed not only at Drake, but also at the entire industry. 616 in Law met the Grams and Not Like Us. In other words, just when Lucian and Young thought they would be safe from the fire of Lil Rod's lawsuit, Kendrick and Drake's feud began to heat up. And Kendrick wasn't just after Drake, according to Meet the Grams. I have 12 years of experience in this field, and I'll share with you a small secret. There are some strange things happening, and some of these. In essence, Kendrick is suggesting that the problem is not just Drake, but the people behind him. He's implying that the higher-ups in the music industry may be running some shady operation, and while artists like Drake are used to keep things in check, there's someone even bigger pulling the strings. You already know that the music industry was closely monitoring all of this because the artists are here to police it, streamlining victims all inside their homes, calling them tender, and then releasing videos of themselves to further their agendas. The last thing Lucian needed was additional bad press, linking him to accusations regarding PDF files in the industry, particularly after his name was cleared from Lil Rod's lawsuit. However, things got even stranger when some people began to speculate that Diddy's entire setup with the mysterious parties and covert recordings was actually a blackmail scheme orchestrated by his superiors for their own political ends.
Parties which youth, funded by powerful figures like Universal Music Group CEO Lucian Grange. Jones claims these parties were secretly recorded to blackmail high-profile individuals, including music executives and politicians. Lucian Grange is a billionaire Zionist known for supporting Israeli causes. He's been associated with high-profile events, including the Friends of the IDF Gala, which raises funds for the Israeli military. Grange's wife, Caroline Grange, also funds several Zionist organizations. Running in the same circles is Haim Saban, an Israeli-American media proprietor senator, Democratic Party power player, and mega donor to Zionist causes. Saban Music Group and Universal Music Group have a partnership that includes global distribution and marketing. Another former Universal Music Group figure moonlighting as a Zionist lobbyist is David Renzer. Renzer founded an organization called Creative Community for Peace, which organizes Hollywood celebrities to speak out on behalf of Israel and against the aims of Palestinian activists. Another music industry executive closely associated with P. Diddy, Clive Davis, has partnered with Creative Community.
Therefore, some people believe that Lucien told Drake to keep quiet after Not Like Us dropped, but Drake chose to defy his boss and bite the hand that feeds him because he felt disrespected and embarrassed and couldn't let it go, especially after all those years when Lucy made him feel untouchable. But Drake knew he couldn't match Kendrick's lyricism, so he took the risky decision to sue his own label for defamation, saying that they allowed Kendrick to release Not Like Us and profit from fraudulent claims. However, now people are saying Drake is risking everything with this lawsuit, saying that OMG is the biggest label in the world, and going up against them is a quick way to get knocked down. History has shown that no artist is bigger than the system, but what do you think of all these strange movements? Do you believe Drake is simply spinning out of control, or is there anything more serious going on? What do you think actually transpired between Drake and Lucien, and do you think Drake will ever return to his previous glory? Drake has been uploading pictures of Sophia recently. Comment with your opinions, and don't forget to see this following video.